Corner by on the best is, the best was, the best ever will be. There but none before me, there'll be none after me. Therefore, I am the one and only Jacoby. Welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. It's WrestleMania week! Finally. Finally. We got your news of the week followed by my WrestleMania predictions. We won't be going into Raw and SmackDown as there is nothing more bigger than WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen. We then have a review of every Cody Rhodes match on pay-per-view he has had since coming back to WWE. We then have your drink of the week, followed by the Boutroid of the week. Let's get into news, though, as Clash at the Castle has been announced, and its location in 2024 is coming from Glasgow, Scotland. How perfect would it be for Drew McIntyre to headline the man from Glasgow, the Scottish psychopath himself, the main event in Glasgow, Scotland? Perfection. Perfection. Is a top AEW tag team leaving AEW and coming back to WWE? Apparently that might be the case, as Matt Hardy's contract has expired and teased a return at WrestleMania 40, saying never say never. Ooh, I would love to see that. And has WWE found their next top star as like Gunther? Apparently they do, as Triple H has said he has plans to push Ilja Dragunov to the moon and give him a main roster push like Gunther has had. This would probably lead to Ilja Dragunov losing the NXT title and moving on to feud with probably hold on the United States Championship or go with the IC title, or who knows, maybe he'll be pushed right into the main event scene and go after the World Heavyweight title, since they will probably have a long reign for Cody Rhodes after WrestleMania. Speaking of WrestleMania, let's look at the card. It is all updated, all set. All the matches that have been talked about have been announced. So let's get into it. As we have the first match that was really announced, Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. This has been a feud that's been building for a long time, as Becky Lynch wants to know if she could still go against some of the best women on the roster, and Rhea Ripley has proven herself to be the best woman on the roster right now. If I had to choose right now, I would say look for Rhea Ripley to retain her title and cement herself as one of the best in the world, and for Becky Lynch to kind of start heading into the fade of her career, maybe because she wants to go into more of motherhood. She just had a book released, so maybe she could start going back into just enjoying her personal life. We then get Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. My heart wants to go with Rollins, but my head is saying go Drew, and you know what, I'm going to listen to it because I feel like Drew McIntyre will win, especially with them announcing Glasgow, Scotland to host Clash at the Castle. I cannot see a better champion to go into Clash at the Castle than Drew McIntyre. This feud was supposed to be CM Punk and Seth Rollins, now being Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. They wanted to take the title off of Rollins regardless, I feel like, so I imagine it's going to be a bad night for the Rollins household for WrestleMania. Seth Rollins will probably lose this match. Bayley versus Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship. Io Sky has had a great reign and has proven that she can lead a women's division on SmackDown. She has proven that she can lead a faction with Damage Control. She has proven everything that she can do with the title. Unfortunately, I feel like they're going to move it to Bayley. I'm not sad about that. I would love to see Bayley get her WrestleMania moment in her first ever singles match at WrestleMania. So look for Bayley to win this match, in my opinion. Let's move on to the tag team match that will main event night one. Roman and The Rock versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. I feel like they don't want the shenanigans for WrestleMania night two. I feel like they want the Rock to have his moment night one, but also maybe he takes the pin or Roman takes the pin and it sets up the moment of The Rock saying, you know what, you're not the head of the table. I am, because you cost me that. So look for Seth and Cody to retain. I know they're talking about a Seth Rollins heel turn, but I feel that Seth Rollins would be better off as a face chasing a heel Drew McIntyre for the World Championship. We then get your triple threat match for the United States Championship of Randy Orton versus Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. Logan Paul has done an awesome job being a part-time champion and a celebrity champion, really one of the first ever. I really like this, and I like Logan Paul's reign, but I think it needs to come to an end. I don't think they'll put it on Orton. I think if they're going to put it on someone, it's going to be Kevin Owens. So I would look for Kevin Owens to win this match. We then move on to your IC title of Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. I really want Gunther to retain here. I feel putting the title on Sami Zayn is the wrong move, in my opinion. But because they want the hero moment and Gunther finally to be dethroned, so maybe he can move on to the main event scene, I will say Sami Zayn. We then get Judgment Day defending their titles in a six-way ladder match against Awesome Truth, DIY, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Who else is this? Theory and Grayson Waller. And who is the last team? The New Day. I feel they want to put it on Awesome Truth. I feel that would probably be their best decision to put it on him. So I put it on them because they actually never held the tag team titles. I could have sworn they had a run together, but they have not. So I would love to see the Awesome Truth get this win and be the ones to dethrone the Judgment Day. We then go to Uso versus Uso match. Jimmy versus Jay, brother versus brother. Been viewing since the Bloodline imploded at SummerSlam. I would go with Jay because again, the hero's moment. It's WrestleMania. The face has got to go over. So I'll go with Jay to win this match. We then get Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi versus the Kabuki Warriors and Dakota Kai in a six-woman tag team match, with Jade Cargill making her WWE debut at WrestleMania in her first ever real match. Because she did participate in the Royal Rumble. I will go with the faces to come over in this one. I'm sad that we aren't getting the women's titles being defended at WrestleMania. We then get Styles versus Knight. You know, this is a weird feud that's been brought together. I feel like a no DQ clause would make this match way better. But at the same time, I feel it's going to be a great match. And I feel that AJ Styles will lose this match and the LA Knight will be built as a top guy who can compete for a world championship someday. We then have the Pride versus the Final Testament in a Philadelphia street fight. So you have Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus Karrion Kross and Akam and Razor. And Karrion Kross is actually first ever WrestleMania match. So I would love to see the Final Testament go over here. And I'm going to pick them to win this match because I feel the street fight aspect fits more in with them than it does with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. We then get Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. I would look for Escobar and Dominic to pick up the win here for two reasons. One, I feel that Carlito is going to turn heel on Rey Mysterio. And two, I feel that it will set up a third match at WrestleMania 41, which will probably be Rey Mysterio's last match against Dominic in a hair versus mask match. And then we have it. Your main event of WrestleMania Night 2, main event of WrestleMania. Roman Reigns defending his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes. It's time. Finish the story, Cody. From WrestleMania 39, from the Royal Rumble, finish the damn story, win the title, make your father proud. The grandson of a plumber, American Nightmare, is going to win this match. I don't see any other way. It's time. And those are my WrestleMania predictions, ladies and gentlemen. We will now move on to what I really thought was fun, Cody Rhodes return matches. So there has been some great matches. There have been a couple weird ones. There have been really no bad ones that I looked at and went, that was terrible for Cody Rhodes since coming back to the company. But he has also had the ability to have a year off because of the torn pec, which I think saved him from having a lot of bad matches. So awesome to see that for Cody Rhodes, but at the same time, it makes you wonder what else could have been on this list if he had it. Let's start at the worst, which is Backlash 2022. Actually, you know what? No. I'm going to tell the story of Cody Rhodes coming back to WWE while putting the matches in their certain places on my list. So let's start off at the beginning. Cody Rhodes' AEW contract has come up, and he has decided to leave AEW. He will not resign him or his wife. He is the first EVP to leave AEW. And he re-signs with WWE. He comes back home, comes back to Dallas, Texas at WrestleMania 38, and is Seth Rollins' surprise opponent. He then proceeds to tear the fucking house down in AT&T Stadium. I was there, and I will tell you, when he came back, there was not a person sitting in their seats. They all jumped to their feet. And him and Seth Rollins put on a magical show that night. It was perfect. It was amazing. And that's why it goes second on my list. I will get to number one in a few. We then go to Backlash 2022. A rematch with Seth Rollins in a match that I really thought shouldn't have happened. I thought they were good after WrestleMania, and Seth Rollins could go on a feud with someone else. But they ended up having this match, and it was nothing to write home about. It was an okay match at best. And I think, honestly, one of Cody Rhodes' worst matches since coming back to WWE. So, if I had to put it on the list, it goes last. But the feud doesn't end there, as, well, they needed a Hell in a Cell match for Hell in a Cell. So who better to put it than the guys who are currently in a blood feud, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. But then, Cody Rhodes sees somebody at the gym who looks like he's giving him a stink eye. So Cody Rhodes decides to push himself, lifting some weights, and tears his pec off of the bone, scrapping any plans for Cody Rhodes in the future for a year. No, he's supposed to have a Hell in a Cell match the next day with Seth Rollins. He's obviously going to pull out, right? Big fat negatory there. Cody Rhodes shows up to Hell in a Cell, torn pec and everything. His skin is purple, basically, from the blood that's building inside of his skin under the torn pec. And what does he proceed to do? Have one of the best Hell in a Cell matches since Triple H and Mick Foley. One of the best Hell in a Cell matches since Undertaker and Mick Foley. Him and Seth, it was perfect. This was the perfect Hell in a Cell match. Seth Rollins finally getting his moment inside Hell in a Cell, as he had a good one with Edge, an okay one with Jon Moxley, former Dean Ambrose, and I wanted to mention the one he had against Bray Wyatt. This was perfection. Amazing. Doesn't get better than this. Number one on the card. After this, Cody Rhodes has to go away. He has to get surgery. He has to get his shoulder fixed. So he does. Takes time away, disappears, gets better, works out, and announces he will enter the Royal Rumble. Okay, would have been a better surprise entrance. You then get the match. He comes in at number 30 and eliminates number 1 Gunther. It was okay at best. Still a weird Royal Rumble for me. What happened after brings it down, in my opinion. So because of that, Royal Rumble 2023 goes, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ninth on my list. I think it's probably where it deserves. He's had 11 matches since returning to WWE. This is number 9 on pay-per-view. We then start the build to WrestleMania. Him versus Roman Reigns. He doesn't have another singles match on. He doesn't have another match on pay-per-view until WrestleMania 39, where he goes against the all head of the table, all hail the tribal chief. Have you acknowledged him today? Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes he has to win, right? This has to be his moment, his crowning achievement. Nope. Couple spears, Samoan spike, one more spear, and he is done. Cody Rhodes loses at WrestleMania 39. Because of the finish. It was a great match. That one goes 8th on my list. Still towards the bottom. After this, Cody Rhodes shows up on Raw and admits, hey, Roman, you were the better man. But you hear what they're saying. You know what we want. Rematch. And you have Roman Reigns basically say, no, but I'll have you in a tag match tonight if you can find a partner. Dun, 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 dun. Out comes Brock Lesnar to agree to be Cody Rhodes' partner. And then the main event, he F5s Cody, turns heel again, and starts a feud with Cody Rhodes, which might be his last feud in the company. He attacks Cody Rhodes, leads to a backlash match. And it was terrible. Bad match. Again, bad by Cody Rhodes standards, good by any other standards. It just didn't work. I never felt the chemistry until they met at SummerSlam, but until then, Backlash is the second worst on my list. It goes at number 11. Or at number 10, I'm sorry. It goes at number 10. 11 is the last one, which Backlash 2022. But yeah, it just didn't sit right. At least to me. But we keep moving forward. Because after that, I'm making sure I'm doing the right chronological here. Backlash 2023. Okay, making sure. I was just making sure I haven't gone off the rails. Because next was Night of Champions against, once again, Brock Lesnar, who would lock in the Kimura, break Cody Rhodes' arm almost. And Cody Rhodes would lose this match. It was a hard fought match, which is why it goes higher on my list. But it was still a weird match to see him against Brock Lesnar. So it goes middle of the pack for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes number 6 on my list. Again, all right match, nothing to write home about. So that's why it goes middle of the road. Then you have Lesnar kind of be put on hold. The beast is still there. He's still hunting in the woods, but you need something else while Money in the Bank is happening. Because we all know Brock Lesnar's history at Money in the Bank. There's a reason why he wasn't at Money in the Bank. We all talk about the worst Money in the Bank holder of all time, basically. So yeah. So they don't use Lesnar at Money in the Bank. Instead, they have Dominic Mysterio. This felt like a thrown together feud. It just didn't make sense to me at all. They had a okay match, but the reason they put this together, it was just terrible to me. So because of that, it's number 8 on my list. It is number 8. I'm sorry, number 7. It's number 7. It's towards the bottom of the list because the feud made no sense whatsoever. I thought there were some good lines during the feud. I thought they had an okay match. Just no point to it. No point whatsoever. After the match, Mysterio goes away. There's no reason to feud with him anymore. So let's bring back Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar wants revenge for Cody Rhodes even making him bleed. So what happens? They have a great match at SummerSlam. I was watching this match going, where the hell was this during the whole feud? This was awesome. This match was great. It had the perfect ending of Cody Rhodes finally, truly beating the Beast, picking up the win, and after you think Brock Lesnar is gonna beat the living shit out of Cody Rhodes, but he doesn't. He shakes his hand and raises his arm, saying, hey, this is the new guy. This was a passing of the torch moment. It was perfect. It goes number 4 on my list. After this, we get WWE Payback, where it is announced that Cody Rhodes will bring back Jey Uso to Raw, and he will start teaming with him. This leads to Judgment Day after they win the titles from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, feuding with Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. And wouldn't you know it, on the first match of Fastlane, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso pick up the win and become tag team champions against the Judgment Day in a good tag team match. I'm not a real fan of tag team wrestling, but this was a good match. I enjoyed it. I thought Jey and Cody blended well as tag team champions. I thought it was a good way to get the titles off of the Judgment Day. So, Fastlane goes number 5 on my list. Unfortunately, after that, they lose the titles. And they kind of feud with the Judgment Day for a while. And finally, you get War Games. War Games was a good match. It wasn't really the Cody Rhodes show, though. It was more of the return of CM Punk and Randy Orton, It was more about the returns and the other people in the match than Cody Rhodes. So I didn't really even list this one. If I had to put it somewhere, it would probably be middle of the list, right above Night of Champions, right below the Fastlane. And then finally after this, Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes enters and wins his second straight Royal Rumble after eliminating CM Punk to go to WrestleMania one last time and get his shot at the Tribal Chief one more time. And because of that because of the perfect storytelling, that match goes third on my list. So it goes worst to best. Backlash 2022, Backlash 2023, Rollins and Lesnar. Royal Rumble 2023, WrestleMania 39 against Roman Reigns, Money in the Bank versus Dominic Mysterio, Night of Champions versus Brock Lesnar, War Games versus the Judgment Day, Fastlane, Judgment Day Tag Team titles, winning them with Jey Uso, SummerSlam against Brock Lesnar, Royal Rumble 2024, WrestleMania 38 against Seth Rollins, and number one, Hell in a Cell against Seth Rollins. It's been a hell of a ride for Cody Rhodes coming back. And it's going to be a fun one to watch him at WrestleMania. Whew. I could use a drink. There's a reason I'm doing this one. This one is a simple one this week. It's just a gin and tonic. It's a nice, simple gin and tonic. Pour in an ounce to 2 ounces of gin and fill the rest of the glass with tonic and ice. Stir it a little so you get a nice mixture. It is the perfect drink for a summer night. It's the perfect drink for any time of the year. And now, everybody, it is time for the Battle Droid of the Week. The Battle Droid of the Week to me this week is CM Punk. I agree of being angry, Punk. I agree with what you're trying to say. He decided to call out AEW, his former bosses, and attack them for not filling arenas, and called Tony Khan a clown. Listen, do I think Tony Khan's the best booker in wrestling? No. But to attack him like this just because you're angry and bitter because you made a mistake, ain't right. So because of that, CM Punk, you are the Battle Droid of the Week. Congratulations.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a hard week for me. Friday, my grandfather, who was 94, passed away. I love that man, and I still love him. He was one of my heroes in life, and I always aspire to make him proud. He was a great man, a lawyer, a two-time captain of the Harvard basketball team, a fighter, a Marine, served in Korea, a lawyer who changed his field, worked his ass off every day to to bring his family back after he was born in 1929, a couple months before the Depression really hit. And again, he was one of my heroes. I love the man. I'll miss him. I forget what movie it's from, but I've repurposed this for him and for hopefully for everyone who needs this. May the angels guide you in heaven. May they lead you across heaven's great vast. May they sing your praises loud enough so we can hear it on earth, so we can know you have taken your rightful place amongst God's council. For a great man has fallen. A husband, a Marine, a lawyer, an athlete, a fighter, a friend, a father, a grandfather. Thank you for everything you taught me, Grandpa. I love you, and there will never be a day when I don't think of you. So, this episode's dedicated to my grandfather. 94 years old is a hell of a fucking ride. And I was honored I got to spend 27 years with the man. So he will get the 10 mil salute. May he rest in peace. And thank you very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to say no because it's WrestleMania week. We are. I will be in Philly. I'm happy to say I will be attending WrestleMania. I'll be attending SmackDown, the Hall of Fame, everything. So thank you very much for listening. Enjoy WrestleMania. If you see me there, feel free to come up. If you're a fan or if you hate me, feel free to come up and talk to me. Either way, thank you very much for listening. Have a great week in wrestling. I've been the big guy, Jake Colby, and this has been Wrestling Made Simple.